better to have a positively biased self-image or a realistic and a balanced self-image? And of course, it is not an objectively positive or objectively balanced or realistic, but rather it's according to you. You think of it as a bit of a positively biased or positively or a realistic and balanced self-image.
I feel like either is good. If it is not realistic, it should not be in the extreme levels. None of us are like portraying ourselves in the real self, right? When we meet someone new, we only bring our ideal self and say things about us which we want to be true. So none of us are like, with no bias. We are not portraying ourselves, our true self. But once that non-realistic thing becomes extreme, like some people believe no they are the king of the world or god or something like that, that is delusions, and that is causes of a lot of other mental illnesses, mental disorders. So it's okay, either is okay, but it should be in a controlled manner. That is the point.
Right, Krupa, just for the record, I am in fact Batman. Just letting you know. But no, seriously, I think in some matters, even an unrealistically positively biased self-image could help, because there are a lot of things that we don't think are worthwhile risks, and so we don't take them. But then the risks do end up paying off. Like, for example, if Elon Musk had not had an irrational amount of belief in himself, he would not be the richest man in the world today, because no ordinary man or any person, right, could imagine that they are going to be worth $200 billion on any given day. Nobody can believe that of all the 330 million people in the United States, they would be the president of the United States one day. There is no rational basis to believe these things. You just have to have an irrational amount of belief in yourself and keep going. But at the same time, you have to be resilient to things not working out in your favor, and not start putting yourself down and letting that really hurt you. So it's a tough balance to maintain.
Yeah, Deepak and Krupa made some excellent points. I'm not sure who this quote is attributed to, but it's something that stayed with me, is that humility is not thinking less of yourself, but when you walk into a room, humility is believing that everyone else also has something to offer. So going back to the discussion that we had about self-esteem versus self-worth, I think it's totally okay to have a more, positively inclined self-esteem, because that's going to empower you to, do whatever you want to do and be more resilient. But in relation with other people, that's when things could get a little bit delusional. So if you start acting like you deserve more than other people, or you're superior than other people, then that might be an issue. So it really just depends on where you're putting your anchor in. Is it in self-esteem or is it in self-worth? Because both of those are still part of your self-image.
That's actually a very good point. Just because you have a good image of yourself doesn't mean everybody else does, and think of themselves a bit less than you. And while it is okay for you to have that image, it doesn't mean that everybody must. And if you look for it and don't get it, then it's not really their fault. Ilakkiya?
I would ideally like to say that we should have a realistic and balanced self-image, but because I know that most people react extremely negatively to negative news, like there was a study done where the time, like if something really happy happens to you, like you got a promotion, you got a new car, something great, your happiness increases for a temporary amount of time and it goes back to normal. But for sad events, like you react more extremely, more negatively. So you should have the positively biased self-image so it can counter the negatively skewed reaction skills. We don't see all the good things that happen to us. We just focus on what things were our barriers, what got in our way, and we react like extremely sadly to them, or like not extremely sadly, but extreme sadness or negative thoughts. So skews on both ways lead to a center. That's good.
Okay, let's actually get everyone involved in this. Everyone, you don't have to give your reasoning, but just say which side you pick: positive and biased, or balanced and realistic. Which side do you go? Let's start with Deepak.
Right. Hey, so I'm going to go with positive and biased, and I'll just add a quick point to what Ilakkiya said. what she mentioned about us getting used to good things happening, that is called hedonic adaptation, which is why we don't stay happy about it for a long time. And the average human being is found to react to negative news with 5 times as much emotional intensity as positive news for evolutionary reasons. And so we should definitely make it a point to find things to be grateful about, which is why the first question was really good about what makes us happy and things like that. We need to consciously make note of these things, maybe even write them down every night, so that we have a record of what good things have happened and we have a more balanced perspective of the world, because I think naturally we are negatively biased as human beings.
Okay. So too positive anyway, and very good point about those things. Let's go to Krupa next.
I can't decide. I go with both.
No, you have to pick something.
Let me think.
What is going on here? Why does she have to pick something? Wait, because this is a question that because this is a question where, you know, in some situations you need to have a realistic and balanced self-image. And let's say your house is burning down, right? You can't just go out and say I'm Batman and, you know, try to figure that out. You need to have a realistic image where you say, you know what, I'm going to be broke for the next 1 year. And so there are some cases, like some cases where your house might be burning down. Like that's just an example where you need to be realistic and you can't be overly optimistic. That can actually harm you in some sense. I don't know. That's what I think.
Definitely agree with that. It's especially when negative things are happening, it's good to have some amount of realistic outlook on it so you can respond accordingly. Sia?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the side of you know, nuance and take what makes sense for you, because some people start off on the inherently negative view of themselves, and so maybe, you know, radically thinking the world of yourself will balance things out for you. And if you're somebody who started with a lot of cognitive dissonance about, hey, I think the world of myself, but things keep going wrong for me, then you might need to, you know, work yourself back towards the center. So I'm all for nuance here.
Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you'd like to see more videos on the topic, make sure to check out our playlist where we answer more questions. We'll see you next time.